Hello everyone, hello. Happy Earth Day and happy 22nd. Do you know what? I feel so nervous doing this video for some reason. I think it's because I've not been on for a while. But I'm saying hello to you all. I'm sending you all so much love. My God, the energies today are amazing, and I'm glad I'm doing this video today because it's all about love. This video, it's all about source love. So it's actually turned out perfectly, even though I didn't realise at the time of planning this. So the video today probably be about half an hour, and first of all, as always, if anything resonates with you that I say, that's wonderful. I'll be glad that it helps you in some way. But if it doesn't resonate, just switch it off. Go and find somebody else that does resonate with you and your personality and your path. All I ever do is share from my own experience, and I'm no expert, believe me. I fluff my way through this ascension. I really am quite a goofball in real life, and you know, I just go with my intuition. I go with my heart all the time, always. That's just my way of living now. But I don't know everything. That's absolutely certain. I don't know it all. I'm not an expert in anything. I seem to be able to grab certain things, but by no means do I know everything. So just take it as it comes. If it resonates, I'll be thrilled to bits for you. Because this is an amazing pathway, this video, the sacred breath. So let's get on with it. But first of all, yeah, I just send you all so much love. So much love. I just love you all so much. Okay. I'm going to explain what the sacred breath is. I just label it that. You could call it anything, doesn't matter. I'll show you how to do it. It is so simple, so quick and straightforward. It really is. The explanation will take far longer than the actual showing of the exercise. And then I'll explain also, because this is helpful, what to not do. Because telling people what to not do really gives you a feel and like a picture of what to do and what to be when you're doing this breath. So we'll go through what not to do with it, also how often, and then explain, once you have connected to your God spark and you feel the divine love in a physical way within you, it will evolve. So it doesn't just stop there at your connection to the God spark. It carries on evolving infinitely and indefinitely. So that isn't the end of the practice. It will evolve for you your way. Okay, so I put on Facebook earlier today 3 images. The first image that I'll talk about is that one, which is the God spark. So I'll talk to you about that. But basically, this spark, I've done 2 as examples, just because I'll explain why in a sec. But that spark is within all living creation, whether it's a physical solid, whether it's a gas, whether it's etherical. That spark has to exist in every single creation that God created from the original spark that source is. So from that spark, everything was created. That was the out-breath. The out-breath of creation created everything that we can think of, know of, and not even know of. The in-breath of original point, that's the in-breath where we are magnetizing ourselves, particularly on this ascension in the golden era. We're magnetizing back to original point, to the original God spark. Now, in truth, we've always been doing that, but it's accelerated in these times. So the out-breath of source is the macrocosm of breathing, and then the in-breath of source is the macrocosm. What we are as humans breathing is the microcosm. So we are breathing physically in the third dimension, but that breath is actually the microcosm of the macrocosm. And then there's everything in between that is breathing. So seeds breathe, plants breathe, animals breathe, depending on their consciousness. But human beings can be conscious of the God spark, whereas animals, seeds, etc. are at a lower consciousness state, so they're not necessarily conscious of the God spark within them, but nevertheless they do have the God spark within them. It's all created from source point. There's no way anything can exist without that existing and from it. So we all know that, but I am going to cover basics for people that are just awakening here, just so that this video helps everybody rather than people that know far more about all of this than I do. With this picture, I've done 2 examples. I don't actually know how many spokes or sparks the God spark has, that original spark. The reason being is this isn't flat, it's 3D. And what happens with this spark is, and this is why I've done 2, you can see that one spark, this is in constant motion. So one spark will move and expand out like that. And at another given point, that same spark will contract in to the original point. Can you see? So I've done this one as expanding out, but then in another moment you will see that that spark then goes back in again. So the God spark is in constant motion. It's energy. It's pure source energy. It's in constant energetic motion. And when you see it, it's very hard to count how many of these there are, because they're constantly either expanding or contracting when you're seeing it with your physical eyes. The actual spark itself is predominantly white, but it has around the edges there's colour. And the colours are like a yellow, they can be golden or cream. And the edges aren't hard like I've drawn, they're very soft. So if you imagine a beam of light that is making that shape, the edge of that beam of light is quite a soft edge. But it's that represents the original God spark, and it is that God spark that is within all things. What can be hard to grasp, and it was hard for me to grasp until I had experiences, different experiences, is that it's the spark that's within you is not a copy of that, and it's not a split of that either. Every single thing that Source has created has exactly the same God spark as the original God spark. So you don't hold a copy of this or a split version of it. Yes, our consciousness is all split, but your actual God spark is exactly the God spark of Source. I hope I'm making that a little bit clear, because it really is hard to grasp, because as humans we think that it might be like a copy, but it isn't. It's the same thing. There's no difference to it. It's exactly it. That God spark is in you, but it's also out there, it's also up there, and it's also in 7 billion people, animals, etc., through the dimensional planes of things that have been created by Creator. So that spark in the human being is housed within our energetic chakra system, and it's housed within the heart chakra, which is why I put the drawing of the human heart chakra up. You don't have to know the chakra system in great detail. If it resonates, go and research it thoroughly. It just depends on you and how much information you want on the chakra system and what resonates for you. If it is to research a lot, I kind of wing it, in the sense that I just try to find the information that I need and leave it there. I don't ever want to be inundated with information, but that's also because I'm not a very good reader. I never have been all my life, so I find reading quite slow. For me, I'm just poor at it, so I don't read as much as other people do. But if you don't know, and we're gonna be this basic because of people just awakening. If you don't know what the chakra system is, definitely research it and find out the basics of where each energetic center is in your body. Look at the colors and look at what they all represent within your energetic system. And you've got to really kind of understand that a little bit, because you're going to be working with your heart chakra and your crown chakra with this sacred breath. If you haven't worked with your own physical energetic chakras yet, I would suggest, before you do this exercise, to work with them. I did to start with, because I knew that we have to see if they're healthy. We have to see if they spin at a reasonable spin. And if they don't, we can work with them to make them healthier and more open to energy going through our system. So you can research that online. If you want any tiny pointers, I can help you, but I'm just no expert at it. What I used to do every day is spend 10 minutes all together, going from my root chakra, visualizing it with my eyes closed, visualizing the colour, and then seeing what the spin was with my eyes closed with my third eye. And if it was slow, then I would work on the spin and increase that spin if it was root chakra that was slow. And then I'd just work up the chakra system on each one until I got to my crown, and I'd do the same on each one, and all of that would take about 10 minutes a day. So that's literally all I did. And you can check on your chakras at any point you like and see if they're spinning healthily. If they're slow, they need to increase. That's just my take on it. As I say, I'm no expert. So we will work with this breath. We are going to work on the heart chakra, which is here, and I call it the heart, the heart center. It's not our physical heart, it's the energetic heart. So we're going to work on our heart chakra here, and then we're going to work on our crown chakra, and they're the only ones that we need for this exercise. So with sacred breath, I think the most important part is our intention when we do it. So I'll go a little bit of detail on this. It is that we have no expectation when we do this breath. Absolutely no expectation, and no idea of controlling anything about this experience when we do the breathing. Control is a mind thing, and what we want to do is let go of the mind when we breathe. It's absolutely essential to let go of your thoughts, expectations, ideas of outcomes. So even though on this video I will explain some things that you will experience by doing this, let go of those ideas and just be you, and just breathe with no expectation. The most essential part of all of this is that all you give to your breath is your love. That's it. It literally is that simple. We don't have to overthink it. I'm explaining it in infinite detail at the minute just so that everybody gets the grasp. But when you do it, you're just you. You're just love. And the only thing you're going to be doing is focusing on giving love to Source. Nothing else. So we just let go of everything and be the pure being of love and give that love. It's just purely about love, which is why it's so brilliant we're doing this today on the 22nd. So we do need to let go of our mind. We also need to let go of force. Third dimensional breathing can be quite forced. You've only got to go to exercise clubs where they go, breathe in, really strongly, large, deep in-breath. That's force. So force goes against flow. Force is actually humans trying to control something. So if we're forcing a large, deep breath in, that is not a natural breath. We want to go with the flow of the universe, which is natural, completely natural breath. So we let go of physical force with our breathing, and we let go of emotional force. So, I really want to connect to Source. Well, that's a passion, isn't it? But we want to let go of all of that too, and let go of any mental force of things like, well, I really want to do this. I really, really want to get this and do it, and then I can move on. Just let go of the lot and be completely in flow, pure, with no expectation whatsoever other than to give your love to Source. Pure intention is key. It's innocence, and it's our innocence that does actually return us through our innocence. So by saying all of that, of what not to do, what we're actually doing is letting the energy do the work for us. So we're letting our minds go out the way, and just by giving love, by taking this action repeatedly, we're going to let the energy do the work. And what comes of it will be very individual to you. I'm going to guide you as to how to reach a point, but at that point, when you feel divine love within you, you will take your own journey. Love will take its own journey for you, with you, surprise you, amaze you in ways that are very particular to you, your path, and your soul's path. So, let's get to the breath. There's 3 stages. First of all, you're going to breathe in naturally your love into your heart chakra, your heart center. I call it the heart center. So in other words, not your physical heart. So ignore completely your lungs. Your lungs have got nothing to do with this exercise. I know they have, physically speaking, but this is an energetic exercise. So, the love that you have for humans, for people, partners, dogs, Gaia, you know what that love is. You feel it. And it's that love that you have that you want to breathe in to your heart center. So you're not thinking about a person or a cat or a dog or anything. I'm just saying, tune in to the love that you know you are and feel without subject matters, and breathe in that love into your heart center. So yes, we're breathing in oxygen and carbon dioxide, nitrogen, but in this exercise we're forgetting that, and it's as if we're breathing in love instead of oxygen, carbon dioxide and whatever, nitrogen. So we breathe in love in a natural breath into our heart center. I'll demonstrate this in a sec. And then once we've finished that in-breath, which is a natural in-breath, we wait. So our awareness waits here for about 3 to 4 seconds and does nothing. We don't think, we don't expect, just absolute, you're not thinking or doing anything, you're just waiting in your heart center. It's like a pause for 3 to 4 seconds only. Anything more would be forced, and we're not forcing anything. 3 to 4 seconds later, you then breathe out your love, the same love. You breathe out your love up from your heart center, up, 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 and through your crown. And the reason we do this will make sense later on. But we are pushing our love, breathing it out, up, through our crown. And what we're actually doing energetically is taking that energy into the higher planes of existence. That's what we're doing initially with this breath. A little bit down the line, we won't have to do this part at all. So just to recap, we're going to breathe in our own unique personal love into our heart center. Wait 3 to 4 seconds and then breathe out that love up, up, up and out of our body through our crown. So to do it, I'm hoping it, because there's no way you can see me breathing, is there? So what I'll do is I'll try and make a bit of a bigger noise breathing, but that in itself is going to be forced, isn't it? Which is pointless, but it's just for the sake of you sort of seeing how quick and easy this exercise is. So I'll close my eyes. And if I put the microphone up sort of here, you should be able to hear at least. And when you can't hear me breathing, it's because I'm waiting in my heart center. So there'll be a noise and then a silence and then a noise again. Okay? I know this is really technical, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so. So if I do it again, I'm hoping that makes sense. I'll do it again later on, just as a reminder. I'm hoping you heard that. Sorry that you did hear my breathing also, but there's no other way to show you. It's not that forced though. I've literally increased my force of breathing in just so that you can hear it, and my force of breathing out just so that you can hear it. But at least you can see it's not a great big long deep breath in, and it's not a great big long exhale out, which would be force. And you can probably see or hear at least that silence in the middle, 3 to 4 seconds, no more, because that would be forced and unnatural. Okay, so you do that exercise a few times at least, but do it for as long as you feel you want to. Just do what's natural to you, but at least do it twice a day. So even if you did it twice a day, perhaps 3 or 4 times in each session, but the idea is to do it daily, at least twice a day at different times, whenever suits you. And the reason you're going to be doing that every day as a practice is because by doing it, you're setting the intention. By doing it, you're sending your intention, your love as a human being up through the planes to source. I'll explain that in a minute, because later on in this exercise, as it evolves, you don't have to do it that way. It's all in the heart. It's all from the heart, because source is there and you know it by that point. So the point is, do that exercise twice a day at least. If you want to do it more than that, do it more than that. But don't do it while you're driving or operating dangerous machinery or anything, because when you do feel the love of source, it might throw you to start with, and it'll probably throw you all the way, every time it happens after that point. By doing this daily, you're sending out an energetic signal. You're sending out an energetic frequency. If you remember, the flower of life is the field of manifestation on the third dimension, and definitely at the fifth dimension. I'm not sure about higher. By giving love out and sending love intentionally to source, that frequency of love then magnetizes the same frequency back to you and your experience and your reality. So we're actually using the flower of life law is the law of manifestation for the third dimension, and this exercise is utilizing it because you're giving the frequency of love out as an intention. And it's an intention because it's every day you're doing it. You're doing it because you want to do it, because you want to connect to source, because you want to feel the love of God. That's the intention. So if somebody, as an example, forgot to do it for a few days, or thought, oh, I'm too busy, or oh, I've had a bad day, I don't want to do it, that intention is still getting sent out. So that intention will attract back an equal response. So in other words, this alchemy, which it's your alchemy that you're creating, it's only going to work through your pure intention of wanting to genuinely do it. If I went about it half-assed and just forgot, even, I forgot for a week, and so then I went back onto it. Oh, I forgot. So then I went back onto it and then did it for perhaps a few days intentionally, and then forgot again, or was just too tired, wanted to go to bed instead. They are all intentions. They're all energy frequencies that I'm sending out. So I'm not going to attract source love back to me because I'm not giving out love. I'm not giving out the same frequency to attract that frequency back to me, because like attracts like, and that's how we manifest. So that the way we manifest feeling physically the love of God within us is by giving out that love, because we want to. And we'll do it. Nobody will need pushing on this. No, but you just don't need pushing, because you just want to give love out. You want God to know that God is loved by you. So there's no real effort required, and that in-breath is just so simple and so quick. A few of those in-breaths would take less than 2 minutes, and then later in the day less than 2 minutes again. But it is that continuation of intention that will, after about 2 weeks of doing this, just 2 weeks, you'll be in the middle of doing your in-breath. So you'll breathe in your love to your heart space, and you're just ready to wait there, and then breathe out your love through your crown at that point. But 2 weeks into this, you'll breathe in your love to your high heart space. And then there'll be a burst. There'll be this amazing energetic burst. It's energy. You will feel it physically go like that. So if I go like that, that's what happens in the heart. There'll be no question whatsoever when you feel that what it is. No question whatsoever. If you can imagine the greatest love you've ever felt while living, and then blow that off the charts to an infinite amount of love that you cannot measure, that is what you'll feel bursting out of your heart center. It'll happen unexpectedly. You don't know when, what day that's going to happen, but it'll happen because of your pure intention to be love for Source, as Source. The expansion that occurs. So you'll breathe in again, and you'll wait 3 to 4 seconds, and then it just burst again. And there isn't a time when it won't burst after this point. It'll always burst. You won't be doing this exercise and just waiting in a space of nothingness. It will burst every time. So when you've reached that point, you'll breathe in your love. It's always still breathing in your human love as you to your heart space. And you're waiting. But you're waiting for the burst now. That's all you're waiting for. You're waiting for the expansion burst of divine love that comes from that God spark that I showed you. And it expands out. Now, when you receive and when you feel that burst at that point, you don't have to go up into your crown and out. You don't have to set that intention anymore. Because you've magnetized to you the love of God through what you're doing. So every time then you do the practice, and I don't call it an exercise because, well, I try not to, because if we think of it as a human exercise, then it'll always remain an exercise. This isn't an exercise. We're not going down the gym and exercising and then coming back and forgetting this is our life path. So I don't see it as an exercise, because then it'll always be an exercise and you won't achieve that. Just see it as your will, your wish, your desire to connect to Source and give Source your love, the love you feel for Source. This isn't about going into higher dimensions or astral travel or finding anything out information-wise. This is about purely connecting your love because you want to give it to Source. So at the point, 2 weeks from starting this practice, if you do it daily, twice a day, several times, 5 times, you could do it for an hour, it doesn't matter. It's whatever feels right for you. 2 weeks into doing that as a sustained intention, a pure intention, you will then breathe in, and there'll be an energetic physical burst in your heart, and you'll feel it physically going like that in your high heart. That's the point that you are physically and mentally and emotionally then aware of Source's love. So it's from that point on that you can evolve and work with that in many, many, many ways, which I'll go into. I've got some notes here, so I'm just checking that I've covered things. Right. So at the point of feeling this physical energy within you, it's almost like if you put something in you and it burst, and you'd feel that burst within you. It's physical. at that point, it's such an immense, unconditional, infinite, never-ending, everlasting love. And you will know it to be God's love. It won't feel like human love. You'll know it as God's love within you. At that point of being able to simply breathe in, wait, and feel that expansion each time you do this intentionally. What that means is, if you're having a day when you're off balance or feeling sad or lonely or alone or in any way imbalanced, the only thing you have to do is that one breath and wait. So you still wait in your heart center 3 to 4 seconds, and then you'll feel that burst of God's love within you. You can never feel alone again. We're only alone when we're in here, third dimensional existence, and it does happen, I know, but we're only alone when we're here. One breath, and there's no way you are alone. Absolutely zero possibility. The love is there, you feel it, you feel so loved, so loved. So I want to talk about, I call them ideas. They're ideas for you, but they're actually things that I have experienced by the evolution of just doing this breath every day. But I'm not saying do these things. I'm just giving you ideas of what is possible, how you can then carry on expanding through this simple breath. But I'm not saying do these things or intend these things. I'd say do absolutely what's natural to you and what you want to do for your path, because you have the power within you to do so much, and you'll experience things that I don't experience. They will be amazing experiences through the evolution of carrying on doing this sacred breath. So here's some ideas which they will naturally evolve for you, your own ideas. I'm just showing you or telling you how mine evolved. And it wasn't that I thought, oh, one day shall I try this or shall I try that. There was no thought involved with it. It just evolved. And that's what will happen for you, is it will evolve your way, because you are an individual facet of God, holding and housing the God spark that was always there. And now you know it, you connect to it, you physically feel it, you mentally know it. It's not a belief system anymore. And emotionally, you know, it's just amazing that you can feel connected to God, and that, you know, yes, God is up there, out there, over there, in higher dimensions, but God is within you and always has been. So let's go through some ideas. Is when you feel off balance, emotionally drained, unhappy, all of those things, just take a moment, close your eyes, breathe in naturally, wait, and then feel that burst of divine love. If you're having a really, really bad time, bad day, you might need to do 2 in-breaths, or maybe at the most 3 in-breaths, because what you need to do is switch this off. So if you don't get to that burst when you're having a bad day the first time, it's only because this is too engaged. So that's why it might take 2 or 3 just to get this disengaged, and then you'll feel it. And then it neutralizes. However you're feeling, neutralizes. You just feel the presence of God's love. When that burst occurs, there's so many things that you can do. These are some of the ideas. These are the things that have evolved naturally without sort of thinking about it, but they just evolve for me. But you'll have your own way. The main thing about this burst is to push God's divine love out. So push it out. It's already bursting. When you wait in there and it bursts out. So just as you can intentionally breathe in your love to your high heart, you can intentionally feel that burst of divine love and carry on pushing it out into your body. So you go with the burst. As that burst happens, you're feeling it, you're aware of it, you carry on and push. And it's a mental push, it's not a physical push. You push that burst of divine energy, divine love out into the whole of your body. The whole of it. It expands out. If you practice that, and each of these ideas would be to practice. You wouldn't do all of these all at the same time or flip between one or the other, I don't think, because each of these ideas I give you, they need practice and practice, because the more you practice it, the more you become sensitive to the energy, to the divine love. And it's a physical sensitivity. Physical is really physical. So as you practice pushing, expanding out that divine energy from your heart center, and as you become confident in doing it and you feel it in your head, you feel it going up your body into your head, you feel it going through, down your arms into your fingers. So if your body temperature was cold, you could push the divine love out with the intention of heating up your body, and your body would heat up. You've got to set the intention that you're cold and you want to heat it up, but then forget the brain and just expand out with that in-breath. Wait, expand out that divine love into the parts of your body that are cold, your fingers, your feet. Similarly, if you're too hot, you can cool your body down by directing the divine love, which is energy. It's energy, the highest energy, and you direct it. So if you've got a hot head, if your head feels really pressurized, like someone's standing on it, or someone's squashing it through tense anxiety or whatever, you can wait for that burst of divine love in your heart center and push it up into your head. And you'll feel it physically expanding in your head, and then all of a sudden these muscles in our head, on our scalp, release. They just go soft. So it is one method of developing to help your body. If you're in pain, you can lessen the pain. I do it with my head. I've had a headache, constant headache, since I was 23. It never ever stops. And when it gets bad, I do this breathing just to relieve the pain in my head. So whatever your pain is, you can practice sending this energy directly to that spot. But when you have the intention to do it, so you'll have that thought, but then leave the thought and concentrate on the purity of your breath, breathing in your love into your heart space, waiting. Then there's the divine burst of divine love, and then you direct and push, and you'll feel it physically. You'll push it out into your body. Okay, let's go a step further. So you say you've practiced that, and you practiced feeling this energy going through your body, down your legs. You can take it a step further and push it through your skin. Now that really is an amazing one to feel physically, because you're used to, at this stage, the energy going through your body, but then you feel it going through the layers of your skin. that's what we're trying to do here, is expand our energy out past our body intentionally, but we're trying to do it in a way that we can physically feel. So we can push it through, we can intend to then push it through our skin, and just practice that one for how many weeks you like, whatever feels comfortable. You'll know when to move on. But push it through your skin and you will feel the energy, because you become so sensitive at this point physically. You'll feel the energy go through your skin. So practice that one. After that one, you can carry on pushing your energy into your immediate field around your body. Now, the trick with this one is you then feel the energy come out of your skin, and you feel it here. You feel it around your body. And what this does is it stimulates your Merkaba field. So you can practice that, and then you become sensitive to your field around you. It really stimulates the Merkaba, the light body. So then you might get other experiences to do with your light body, because you're engaging your energy with your light body, which is in and outside of you as light, as energy. So then you can practice that and keep practicing it, but expand further than that. Once you're at this light body, the Merkaba stage, you really can then expand physically that energy out onto whatever you want to, onto Gaia, onto the outside world, into a tree, into the sun, the clouds. But the point is, this isn't an imaginative experience. It's not even, you're setting the intention to do it because you're having the thought to do it. But when you're doing the breath, the pushing out from the divine God spark out into the trees, for instance, you feel your energy going out of your body, through your skin, through your Merkaba, out into the air, and you feel it touching the trees. So then you can go a step further and you can go into the tree. It really is infinite how you want to take this. But the idea is that you push out the divine energy. Once you've felt it physically, you're just pushing it out. It's an intentional push. There's not force to it. It's not a physical like that. It's just an intentional push out, and you will feel it travel out and out. So we start off by just doing the sacred breath so that we can experience the burst of divine love. We magnetize that to us. But from that point on, it's up to us how much we want to expand on that. You might not want to expand, which is absolutely fine as well, but you might want to start working with your own energy, because this is your power. This is your energy. It's divine energy through you. And it's why we're here. We become energy masters. A couple of other benefits from expanding your energy out, and these are huge really, to be honest, because it's all about expanding love, which is high frequency energy, out onto the planet, is that you can then merge yourself with anything that is a living creation. So by breathing your love into your heart center, waiting 3 to 4 seconds for that burst, you could then, just as an example, push that divine love energy that bursts